Let's talk about Islam. It is a very popular faith today. Second most popular one in the world, mostly in the Middle East, but growing in all parts of the world. And it began with Muhammad in 610 CE or AD. He is considered to be the most important person in Muslim history. He was where it all began. They consider him to be prophet of God that brought forth a new message. And this happened just like with Christianity and Judaism in the Middle East, in what is today Saudi Arabia, country in the Middle East, not too far away from Israel. So they're Christianity, Judaism, Islam, they all started in a similar region. Just like the other two, they are monotheistic, belief in one God. And Christianity, Judaism, Islam, if you ask a lot of people, they will say that they essentially believe and worship one God who is, they believe to be essentially like the same God, but there's different names for him. And we, in Christian faith, they just use the word God. That's the English version of that. In Hebrew, which is for the Jews, they use that name Yahweh, which is the Hebrew name for God. And then the Arabic term, which would be the language that the Muslims speak, would be the name Allah. And that's still a name for God. It's just it's the name for God in the Arabic language. Leadership in the Muslim faith. When I say Muslim, Islam is the name for the religion. Muslim is the name for the people that follow it. So those names refer to the same religion. It's just Islam refers to the religion itself. Muslims refers to the people who practice that religion. Prayer leaders are the leadership. Muhammad is really, when it comes to important people in the faith, it's really mostly about him. Holy book that's very important to their faith is called the Quran, or Quran, depending on how you pronounce it. And they are about 1.5 billion people, which is the second most populated one besides Christianity. Muhammad was the original prophet. He was believed to have gotten a message from an angel, and as he wrote this down, it became the book that they hold very dear to them, the Quran, that has all kinds of teachings and histories of their faith and of God. Their basic beliefs. The thing that I'm just going to put here is that there's what's called the 5 pillars of Islam. And these would be the important things in their faith. They have 5 things that stand out that every good Muslim should do and practice. One is simply just belief in Allah, belief that there is one God and his name is Allah, depending on how they pronounce it. Another thing that they're big on is prayer, and they pray several times a day, and they are always facing their holy site where their faith began, which is a place called Mecca, which, while I'm thinking of it, I'll put that up here for holy site and founding place, city called Mecca, Mecca. So they want to be praying facing these holy cities. Prayer several times a day. That's a part of their everyday life. They're supposed to be giving. There's a certain percentage or amount of money that they're expected to give to the poor as part of their regular practice of faith. They fast during holy season, which is called Ramadan, and that involves a strong fast of not eating or drinking for a good portion of the day during a whole um, holy month or holy season. And a final one to put down here is that all good Muslims, if they're honoring their faith correctly, make plans to travel, no matter where they live, over to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and travel to the holy site of Mecca and get a chance to be in the place where it all began. So that's an important part of their faith. These 5 pillars: belief, prayer, giving, fasting, and making sure that you make what they call this pilgrimage, this journey, this spiritual journey over to Mecca, where their faith began. Other info: Muslims do believe in that, that Abraham, Moses, Jesus existed. They don't consider them to be as the the truest prophet. They consider that to be Muhammad, but they do believe in Abraham. And like I said before, Abraham is considered the father of 3 faiths, and one of them is Muslim or Islam. One of his sons is considered to be one of Abraham's sons. Ishmael is considered to be one of the oldest ancestors to this group of people. So they believe in Moses, Jesus as prophets, but they don't follow them as the truest prophet. That belongs to Muhammad. So Muhammad is considered the final prophet. So they would say they believe that these other religious leaders that are mentioned in Christian and Jewish Bibles are important people in a way, or at least some of them would say that they have some important things, but it's Muhammad that really was considered the final prophet. It was his experience with writing the Quran and the truth that they have in their holy book, that those are the final words from God, and that's what they should be practicing.